Okay, you guys, I'm doing a really quick follow-up video because I uploaded a new video today unboxing this little cutie, the Louis Vuitton Key Cles in the damier ebene. I had been eyeing this item for quite a while now, and I had mentioned that I saw a few in the boutique, but I wasn't 100% satisfied with the quality, whether it was the zipper being rough, meaning it snagged, or the stitching on the inside being a little wonky. So I went ahead and actually purchased this online from the Louis Vuitton website. On Valentine's Day, I saw that it was in stock, and I just took a leap and thought, okay, I may get just the perfect one. We'll see. And if not, there's a 30-day return policy, so I'm okay. I was really hoping for a made in France one, as many of you know, and on the little key clay here, there's no imprinting of where it's made, so it will not say made in France or made in USA or made in Spain. It'll just say Louis Vuitton Paris, at least the newer ones here. So this has the red lettering on the inside, and again it just says Louis Vuitton Paris. So I had to see the paperwork here, and as you can see it says made in USA of imported materials. So I have nothing against made in USA, but I have found that for both Chanel and Louis Vuitton, the made in France items tend to have better craftsmanship. I say tend to because it's never a guarantee, and it's perfectly reasonable to think that you would get also a very perfectly made item, both in made in USA, made in Italy, or even made in Spain. But I'm just speaking in generality here, and my personal experience. I have not had very much luck with made in USA, and all the other Louis Vuitton items that I own happen to be made in France, and I am absolutely happy with all of them, and I have never had any issues. So this one here, when I first unboxed it, you probably saw that it was a little bit sticky. Now the zipper is very soft. So originally when I had tried it, it was kind of getting stuck on each end, and it's not doing that. So I guess it goes to show how after just a few times of kind of massaging and playing with it, that it actually loosens up. Well, you see here it is getting a little snagged again, but for the most part, I think it will be fine. Now, the other issue that I had was, I don't know if I can show you here now because it's darker and it's evening time, whereas earlier I taped when it was morning and there was plenty of sunlight. But oh, I think you can still see at a certain angle, if you look inside here, the stitching, you can see my finger going up and down. There are little tiny holes or gaps in between the stitching. Now, in the time that I uploaded my last video, which was just a few hours ago, and now I have received so many comments and messages and DMs on Instagram, which I really appreciate because a lot of you were kind enough to take pictures and videos of your very own key clays and letting me know, if there was any gapping, what year you bought it, where it was made, any difference between made in France versus USA, and all of that. So it's been really helpful. It seems like for the most part what I'm hearing is that the older models of the key clay do not have the little tiny holes in between the stitching. The stitching is actually much more tightly done. And so when you hold this up to the light, and again, I'm sorry you can't see it very well here because it is dark and I'm using artificial lamp light instead of sunlight, excuse me. But from what I understand, the older models, like I said, are more tightly stitched, and that you wouldn't see that little, the light coming through the bottom there. I think you can see it if I hold it like this. Whereas the newer models, starting maybe a few years ago, they all have that. So it's kind of normal, I would say, based on what I'm hearing, but normal meaning it's the new normal with the new Louis Vuitton quality and with a lot of the items being made in the USA. I had mentioned in my earlier video that I love this cutie. I think it's so adorable, and it's something I wanted to add to my collection and to keep my keys in, but it's definitely not a must-have item. I showed you that I carry my little bit of keys, I don't have a lot of keys, in this little J. Crew microfiber pouch, which is getting a little bit old and I'm sure will get worn. So now I'm thinking when the time comes to move on from that pouch, I can use this one that I recently received with my Chanel order. All of the little samples came in it. And this is actually really nice. It's similar. It's got the drawstring, and it's this really, simple black, almost kind of water resistant feeling nylon with the black Chanel. So just nothing flashy, it's just really simple. And I do like the fact that the drawstring pouches, first of all, I didn't pay for them, so that's nice. But it's also just really functional. I mean, the point of keeping my keys separate is so that they don't scratch up the inside of my bags. And also, I love that I can scrunch them up and they become really, really tiny. And I can mush them into really any size bag, even the teeniest of mini bags. So I had mentioned this in my earlier video today, and I wanted to show you because I didn't have it in front of me before. But like I said, it's just pretty much the same concept, a little bit bigger than my J. Crew one, but whatever, it works. I mean, up until recently I was just plopping my keys in as they were, so I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. Now, after receiving some of the input from you guys, especially on Instagram, I've kind of felt like, maybe I'm on the fence, maybe I will keep it, especially because the zipper is starting to sort of loosen up, I noticed, and it is a cute item, and the stitching, I had heard from a friend who has connections, like a personal shopper connection, who has made in France versions of the Key Clay in her possession. She had about 3 or so, and she was nice enough to check to see if those also had the little gaps in between the stitching, and it turned out they all do have the gaps. So again, this must be the new normal. Now, in some cases, the gaps are going to be more obvious, and in other cases, it'll be more subtle. I think this is a more subtle version because I can only see it at a certain angle, and even when I hold it at a certain angle, the holes are really tiny. There was one that I saw in the boutique that I mentioned where I held it up and immediately there were gaps in every single basically in between every single stitch, and it was very noticeable, and I almost felt like if I pulled like this, the stitches would start to unravel. I'm sure they wouldn't, but that's the feeling it gave me. And for over $200 for a tiny little canvas item like this, I wanted to make sure that it was well made, but also Louis Vuitton canvas is known to be super durable, and the stitching should be done well so that it does last for many years. If I purchase a Key Clay like this, I would think it would last me forever. I shouldn't have to buy another one, and I'm not really interested in collecting a million of these. I just need one from a functional standpoint. So here's the reason why I wanted to also make this follow-up video, because when I was unboxing this, I was obviously excited and then quickly, feeling a little bit disappointed and unsure if I was going to keep it. And I just was kind of, running with it in terms of like going with the flow and making the video for you guys. But after receiving those comments, taking a break, heading out with my kids, spending some time at the playground, and then coming back, I thought, let me check it out one more time, play around with it, and see how I feel. I did not sniff this. I didn't smell it. Normally when I receive a product or I purchase a product, after feeling it, the very next thing that I do is I smell it. I don't care what kind of material it's made out of. I will smell things. It's just one of my quirks. And I didn't do that with this one until I just got back home and I sniffed it. And guys, it smells disgusting. Totally disgusting. I've never smelled anything like this before. It smells very chemically, almost like a mixture of very strong paint and nail polish remover, and like a mixture of really just strong chemicals. And I thought, okay, it'll probably wear off. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's from the factory. I don't know. I know there was another YouTuber recently. She has a channel called Fashionably Amy. She puts out really good content, and she did a video showing the on-the-go tote in the size, which I was, interested in, and she was actually returning it because for a variety of reasons, but one of the reasons was that it smelled really bad, and she said the same thing, that it was really chemically smelling, and I believe that was also made in the USA. So I don't know what's going on, but like I said, my other Louis Vuitton items do not smell like that. They've never smelled like that, and it's as bad. It's so bad and so noticeable now. When you smell something, you can't like unsmell it. I feel like the odor is now up my nostrils and I can't get it out. That's how bad it is. It's a very strong odor, and it's to the extent that I don't want to put this item in my bags because I'm afraid that odor will then transfer into my bags, and then the interior of my bags will start to smell like chemical. So I don't want to take any chances. Like I said, there are other factors that I'm not 100% happy with, so I am definitely returning this bad boy. It is going back. I just received it today, but I don't want to dilly-dally. I'm just going to pack it back up. I'll maybe take a couple of photos just for for memory's sake. And maybe I'll post it on Instagram just to, update all my IG friends there. But it's going to have to go back. And it's unfortunate because it's really cute. And I did want it, but not for, not with all the issues that it's having. So that's all, guys. Just wanted to give you a quick update. Thank you so much for all of your input and for just reaching out really quickly after my earlier video and letting me know what your key clays look like, what other, issues you've seen, what's normal, what's not, because it was really helpful. But one of the things that you can't actually see in a video is the odor, right? So, and I didn't even think about it. It was very unlike me to not smell it right away. But I just wish you guys could smell this because I can't even describe, I don't even want to smell it again because I'm afraid it's going to stay with me when I go to bed tonight. So, yeah, if anyone has experienced this, I think the feedback needs to get back to Louis Vuitton in some way, shape, or form, because if all their products coming out of US or wherever start to smell like this, people are going to get upset. So I hope they are able to get that in check. And thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And of course, if you're not subscribed already, I would love for you to join. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.